is Delia Melody. I'm a local trans rights activist, and I've been invited and given the honor of closing us out tonight. I have a few words, and then I have a song that I wrote, which I will close us out with. We live in a world which can literally change overnight. I don't think anyone could have imagined when we went to bed after attending our own local LGBT Pride Festival right here in this park, that we'd wake up yesterday morning to the news that only 8 hours away, over 50 people had died and 50 more had been injured in what has now taken its place as the largest mass shooting in living memory and the largest anti-LGBT hate crime in United States history. The world has always been a frightening place for us. Many in our communities have been fighting the battle for acceptance since Stonewall. And there are still nations that exist where one can be imprisoned or even executed for their gender identity or orientation. For those who have lived through such times and experiences, I'm sure it can be very triggering to have to see this. For those of us who are very young, the world has probably never felt quite as frightening as it did waking up yesterday morning. I know personally, I have felt so alone and small and frightened and helpless. It seems like every 5 minutes, I'm fighting the urge to break down and cry. And several times I have. And I'll probably be fighting it for the remainder of the time that I'm up here. And I've received a lot of messages from young LGBT people feeling the exact same way, just as I'm certain everyone here does. And I want you to know, first off, that I am so very glad that every single one of you is alive. And I want you to know, in no uncertain terms, that what you're feeling is valid. What happened 2 nights ago was heartbreaking and terrifying. And it is absolutely okay to feel heartbroken and to feel terrified. And it is most certainly okay to cry. Throughout the course of my activism, Throughout the course of my activism work on YouTube and elsewhere, people have gotten in touch with me to tell me how brave they think I am. That happens a lot with activists. People love to tell activists how brave they are. But moments like this, especially, not just moments like this, but especially moments like this, it's very hard to feel brave. But it's also moments like this that it's important to examine what bravery really is. A lot of people think that bravery means not being afraid. But if my life and my experiences, losing my family and my friends, and nearly everything I ever had, and facing homelessness after coming out, and a 1.5 years of nearly round-the-clock activism work have taught me anything, it's that the brave ones of us are really the ones who are just doing everything we can to put on a bold face and push forward and do what's right and live our truth, even though on the inside we are usually petrified. I'm petrified. The world has changed so much in such a short time. Unfortunately, change by its very nature is often a process which comes with violence and resistance. We lost so many brave, beautiful, and loving queer, trans, and Latinx souls this weekend, and they will be loved and missed, and their families are mourning and will mourn. And although we will never truly understand their pain, we stand in solidarity with them and offer them our sympathy and our empathy. For while we may never understand the level and the degree of pain that they are experiencing right now, we do know pain. And those of us left behind to cope with the pain and the loss will continue to be brave and fight for the rights to exist which they were denied at the end of a barrel. It's not going to be easy. And I want you to all remember first and foremost that your safety is never a currency to be exchanged for progress. And that it is always okay to mind your own safety and to take the time you need to process and to heal. But while we are all healing, I want you to know that none of us are alone. Just look around you. We are all here for each other. And I do also want to take a moment to extend my personal sympathies also to our friends and families in the Muslim communities, especially to our LGBT Muslim siblings, who we all know will sadly face renewed hatred and suspicion and violence and be falsely painted as villains in light of this tragedy by the very same people who would seek to erase the true reasons behind this devastating attack, which everyone needs to remember was not rooted in anyone's Islamic faith, but in a hatred for people who are different. And we will overcome it by standing together in unity with all of our communities, in love and peace. And it may not change overnight for us, but as we have seen time and time again and just been reminded, our world can change, and it will change because we will be that change and because love always wins. As I said before, it is my great honor and my privilege to have been invited to close out this evening with a song that I have recently written. It actually started to come to me on Friday, of all things. I was thinking about my trans sisters and brothers and non-binary siblings. As a transgender woman of color, I have to live in fear every day, facing odds of 1 in 12 of being murdered simply for being a woman who was born a little bit different than most others. And every year in November, we have a day to honor the trans women and trans men and non-binary trans individuals who were murdered that year before and who committed suicide in a world which seems to hate us so much. And I was thinking of that day and those people. And so I started to write this song. It was very overwhelming. I had to put it down. And then, lo and behold, this tragedy strikes, which has impacted not only trans people, but gay people and other non-heterosexual people and Latinx people. And I knew that there just was not a more appropriate time for me to finish the words I had to say. I kind of wonder if the goddess was speaking to me to give me a little inkling that this might be needed now. And there's a bit of an equipment thing, so I have my friend Georgia from the Feminist Society who is going to be my human mic stand, because I only have 2 hands, and my human music stand. These are the pages. So we're going to get this ready real quick. I appreciate your patience. I don't normally read my own music, but I just finished writing this today. And it is a very emotional song that I am performing for the first time, aside from just practicing it to myself at home, so please be patient with me. I may break down. There's a spider.
Okay, that's fine.
Yesterday I saw your face. Wish it caught me by surprise, but it didn't. And last night I cried in vain. Wish tears could bring you back, but they didn't. And I miss you, and I love you, and I'd give anything just to hold you. No, I never knew your name, and now I wish it could be on everybody's tongue. But they won't see you, they won't know you. Still fresh on the stones they've thrown to take your light away from me. Now I'm left all alone in a world so cold. Maybe you're better off now than I am. I just wish I could have seen your face. I wish I could have known your name before you had to go. You're my hero. Feels like I could cry for days. Wish words could ease the pain, but they didn't. Still can't find words to say. Wish dreams could make you stay, but they didn't. And I just show you a world where they could learn how to love you. And I'll cry your name in vain, as I wish that it could be on everybody's tongue. But they won't see you, they won't know you. The blood's still fresh on the stones they've thrown to take your light away from me. And now I'm left all alone in a world so cold. Maybe you're better off now than I am. Still, I wish I could have seen your face. I wish I could have known your name before you had to go. You're my hero. Now I walk alone down the same damn road that led you there. Feel so far from home, feel so damn far from anybody who cares. Told me I should learn to pray. Wish they'd learn how to love, but they didn't. So I prayed another way. Wish love could light our way, but it didn't. But I tried to just hold on to the hope that now she's brought you home to hold you. And that one day words of love will chase all the hate and fear from everybody's tongues. Cause they won't see you, they won't know you. The blood's still fresh on the stones they've thrown to take your life away from me. Now I just wish that I had your hand to hold to find a better place than where I am. I just wish I could have known your name. I wish I could have kissed your face, but you had to go. You're my hero.